there's some chatter, when I say some, that might be underplaying it a little bit, but some chatter about this interesting Twitter account that is, again, calling out the fraud in Minnesota and where all the money is going. So let's check in with Corin.
All right, Corin working on that. I know this came about because there was social media, Twitter or X, claiming to be employees of the Department of Health and Human Services in Minnesota, calling out Governor Walz on allowing fraud to take place. Of course, this is a huge thing we're hearing from Chris Maddle today, Lisa Demuth, etc., which suggests that this is absolutely the #1 platform here for those running against Walz and other Democrats in the state, Corin.
Yeah, and you had the New York Times article, since you were reading it this weekend. You got that article about Minnesota's fraud there. Did not reflect well on Governor Walz. Mentioned, some of the defense attorneys involved there basically saying that the state allowed this to happen, even if they weren't, tacitly deciding that this is okay, that they had a cookie jar, they knew people were emptying it, and they just kept refilling it. We've got that, and then this account that it claims to represent 480 employees at DHS, which is about a 7,000 employee state agency. So maybe 6 or 7% of them claimed to be represented by this account, has been for 2 or 3 years tweeting nonstop about the fraud issue, and it's employees, if that's who they are. It's an anonymous account, but it's folks who are taking aim at Governor Walz and at the DFL and claiming that they are the ones behind this. The post this weekend said it was 100% Tim Walz's fault and just went into a long list of reasons why they felt that way. I will note that post got more than 36 million views by the time I looked at it this morning. It's gone now. That's our update. In the last hour or so, that account has been suspended. Don't exactly know why. X doesn't necessarily say why it suspends an account. It can be for rules violations, but there are other reasons as well. One of the rules that could be violated is impersonating people or claiming to be somebody you're not. I can say I've been trying to kind of confirm who these folks are, but they are, and if they are state employees who are calling out the governor and the executive branch and the people who kind of control their job and their salaries, they are potentially correctly paranoid about protecting their identities and remaining anonymous. I have reached out to them before and they have not responded, but I did talk to a state representative who says that she has interacted with them, with at least a couple of them in person, and that they are who they say they are. So, either way, okay, that account's suspended now, and that message that had 36 million views this morning isn't there.
So it appears that it was suspended by X versus being taken down or deleted by the people posting it?
Yeah, if you can see this.
Yeah.
Account suspended, X suspends accounts that violate our rules. Now, didn't go into detail, and that can be a temporary suspension or it could become permanent. We don't know.
Now, again, this is all part of the conversation that we hear, and you hear it all the time over there at the state capitol, where the issue of fraud under Governor Walz's watch has just been, that's been something we've been hearing very loudly as a criticism from the other side, and then you have to discern how much of that is, valid criticism, how much of it is opportunism in terms of, partisan politics. I mean, can you give any kind of sense about that over the last even year or even two?
I mean, fraud is a real concern in Minnesota. It's a big one, as you've noted. You have covered these trials. The number keeps going up. We don't know exactly where it's going to end, but it's in the 600 to 700 million range right now. I know Joe Thompson, when he was acting U.S. attorney here, said that he thought it was going to reach $1 billion. Who knows? It could go even higher than that. It is a real concern. It is also definitely the topic that Republican challengers who want to become governor are looking at as their best approach to politically attack tim-walz and the DFL. So it's both a real concern and a political issue. And the governor, it took the state a long time to address this. The governor has done a few things to address this, including, to respond to something that that X account said, that they were intimidating folks and discouraging anyone coming forward. I mean, there was an executive order, I believe it was very beginning of this year. It was in January, it might have been January 1st. It was the first executive order of the year from Governor Walz, and it specifically said you have to report these things. If you know of anything that could be fraud, you must report it if you're a state employee, and you must report it to BCA, because he kind of combined BCA into the investigations for these things. So, has he done enough? That's for the voters to decide. Has he done nothing? Well, he hasn't done nothing.
I do, before we go to, we got to run, but I just want to, I covered the legislative auditor's report where they presented their findings about the origins here, the Feeding Our Future fraud, and what was done or not done. And one thing they noted is that they had reported their concerns to the, I think it was the USDA, the federal program that this was part of in meals, but there was no evidence that they had reported for months that they told anybody in state government, in the executive branch, and they said you should have gone to the Attorney General's office or the governor's office, but you waited months just dealing with the federal authorities here and didn't tell anybody statewide. So that was a big part of the origins. Then the criticisms and questions come after they did tell those in state. What was the reaction? All right, Corin, thank you. It's a lot to sift through. It's a lot to do.
There is.
All right, we'll see you later on tonight on Fox 9 News at 5.